Sony to Sony. Alright, I'll use that for my reference monitor. So we are in the standard color profile. We are at ISO 400 at f2, and we are testing the Rode VideoMic 1. So, the nice thing about this test is that there is an oxygen machine outside of this room. And this will allow us to test the directionality of the mic because it is pointing directly at me. So if it does a good job, you won't hear as much of the machine and you'll hear more of me. And I think the real question is, how much of the machine do you hear? How much of me do you hear? And am I still in focus? Because shooting with the RX1, you have to learn how the camera wants you to film with it. And I think that's a bit of a learning curve because I came from the Sony A7S where I felt that I could control it in a way where I would go from shooting stills to movies, then back to stills in a manner that suited my workflow. And with the RX1 and the test that I did at the county fair, that was a learning curve. So this test is a little more controlled, and this will give me a good idea of what audio components I can connect to this device. So this is the Rode VideoMic 1, and in a second we're going to try the VideoMic 2. Cool. So if I leaned all the way back here, I should be in focus. Which is good because I think this looks better than the last setup. Which is why we are testing the Rode VideoMic 2. Well, just singular 2s. This is what the Rode VideoMic 2 sounds like connected to the Sony RX1, and I am begging the battery to not die on me because it only has one bar left, but I'm also running the risk. Now, as I said in the previous clip that I took, that oxygen machine outside the door is going to be a really good litmus test for the directionality of this microphone, because this microphone is physically smaller than the other microphones. So a lot of this is going to depend on the internals and how well the mic can process the sounds that are coming out of my mouth. Now, the other funny part about this is the RX1 was made and crafted in 2012. And so it doesn't have the newest technology when it comes to taking in audio and working with it. It doesn't have 32-bit float. All it has is power to the microphone over the 1/8 cable that I have set up right now. Now, the Rode VideoMic 2 does have a USB-C port that can be used to connect it to devices that have USB-C for that function, but a camera from 2012 does not have a USB-C port that I can utilize, or at least the Sony RX1 does it, because it is micro B port that you have available that can charge the battery, which I'm keeping an eye on it. It's finite. So with that being said, am I looking forward to seeing how this mic will sound compared to the VideoMic 1? Absolutely. Do I imagine it will be a huge upgrade? I hope so. For the price point that these microphones are at, I can only hope that it hears me more than it hears the oxygen machine, but that is a hope. because this is your foot in the door when it comes to on-camera audio components. Now, is it preferable to have something that has XLR? Absolutely. Is that something I have access to right now? Absolutely not. Is this something that can help in a controlled environment? Absolutely. And I think that's the part that brings clarity to the work that I'm doing, is that ideally it's in a controlled environment. And using that tool so that you're working with something that has better than the onboard camera microphone, if your microphone has that functionality. Because a lot of cameras don't have that microphone component. So making sure, I mean, albeit we're in the year 2025, most devices do have that functionality. If not, synchronizing it in post is something that is still done to this day, depending on what audio interface you utilize. And I think the biggest thing is utilizing the tools that you have available to you to make the highest quality work that you can generate with the tools you have. And that's something that's held me up for a very long time, because I know what tools are used for the highest quality. And not having access to those and waiting for those has stunted a lot of the videos that I've wanted to create and craft. And it's the reason I'm using an RX1 instead of my Micro Four Thirds or my A7 right now, is because that's the tool that is in the most functional state at this time. And it makes it easy when you have a tool like this to plug in the monitor that I have here, plug in the microphone, and let it rock and roll. And before I made these videos, one of the things I did was watch a lot of inspirational videos about getting that momentum going. So not only is this a microphone test, but it's a resolution to keep that momentum going. But I also get to make really cool noises to make sure that the microphone's working, in addition to talking to the camera. So that's beneficial as well. And I really hope that I can finish recording this before this battery gives out. So with that being said, I'm going to wrap this up and continue on.